Good evening, you are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The delegation from the Omani Hajj mission heads to Al Madinah Al Munawwara to provide services for the Sultanate's pilgrims in Al Madinah. The Sultanate ranks 3rd at the Arab level and 38th at the international level in the Intellectual Property Rights Index 2018. And the Iranian foreign minister says there were no plans for a meeting with US officials on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York next month. Those were the headlines, now the news in detail. Aiming to serve the Sultanate's pilgrims in the Holy Lands, a delegation from the Omani Hajj mission left the holy city of Mecca, headed to Al Madinah Al Munawwara, chaired by Deputy Chairman of the mission and members of the delegation, which have supervised Hajj campaigns, iftar, medical, ROP and scout delegations, where they will provide services for the Sultanate's pilgrims in Al Madinah Al Munawwara. As part of the work of Omani Hajj mission, the scouting team provides As part of the work of Omani Hajj mission, the scouting team provides important services to pilgrims coming from the Sultanate. Among these services are organising visiting pilgrims to the headquarters of the mission in Holy Mecca. It records data and information from the pilgrimage companies and contacts them. It provides the same in Medina. The scouting team also plays a great role in Arafat and Mina camps through directing pilgrims there, giving them instructions and raising health awareness among them. The Sultanate was ranked 3rd at the Arab level in the Indicator of Intellectual Property Rights in the World in 2018, issued by the Coalition of Intellectual Property Rights in the United States of America. The Sultanate came in 38th position at the world level by gaining 6,332 points to move up one position from the 2017 ranking. The international report also revealed the Sultanate's progress in the Physical Property Protection Index and sub-index of the legal and political environment. The International Economy Forum, Davos, expects the increase of goods movement through Al Duqm port in the coming years to reach around 4 million tonnes by 2022. The forum, in a report, praised the developing movement witnessed by the Special Economic Zone in Duqm by establishing a number of huge economy projects such as Duqm Refinery, Petrochemical Industries Complex, specialised factories for manufacturing solar energy tools and oil and gas equipment production, in addition to an auto assembly plant. Iran gave its most explicit rejection yet of talks with the United States today and accused Washington of an addiction to sanctions over its latest spat with Turkey. The US reimposed harsh sanctions on Iran on Tuesday following its May withdrawal from a landmark 2015 nuclear agreement, dealing a heavy blow to the already troubled economy. US President Donald Trump has offered talks on a more comprehensive deal, but Iran has balked at negotiating under the pressure of sanctions and has instead leant on its increasingly close ties with fellow US sanctions targets, Turkey and Russia. Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif said there were no plans for a meeting with the US officials on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York next month, which both Iranian President Hassan Rouhani and Trump are due to attend. A 40-year-old Palestinian hit by Israeli fire during protests on the Gaza border died of his wounds today, taking the previous day's death toll to 3. He was among at least 131 Palestinians wounded by Israeli bullets during yesterday's protests, even as an informal truce already agreed after a deadly flare-up between Gaza's rulers, Hamas, and the Israeli army largely held. A few thousand protesters had gathered in different locations along the border, setting tyres ablaze and throwing stones, but there were fewer people demonstrating than in previous weeks. The border was otherwise calm after a deal to end all rocket fire into Israel and airstrikes on the Gaza Strip appeared to go into effect around midnight on Thursday. Thursday had seen extensive Israeli raids in retaliation for the launching of more than 180 rockets and mortar rounds by Hamas and its allies on Wednesday night. An earthquake on the Indonesian island of Lombok has killed 387 people. The shallow 6.9 magnitude quake on Sunday levelled tens of thousands of homes, mosques and businesses across Lombok just 1 week after another tremor surged through the island and killed 17. The number forced from their homes in the disaster has soared to 387,000, with around 13,000 injured. The hardest hit region of Lombok has been in the north, where 334 people have died and nearly 200,000 have been forced from their homes, according to the latest official tolls. Survivors of the quake have been shaken by hundreds of aftershocks, including a shallow 5.9 magnitude quake on Thursday, which caused people to flee evacuation shelters, crying and screaming. Torrential monsoon rains have killed at least 26 people in flooding, landslides and house collapses in the southern Indian state of Kerala, with more than 15,500 people taking shelter in state-run relief camps. The top elected state official said the flood situation has become very grim, with the opening of sluice gates of nearly 24 overflowing water reservoirs. Nearly 200 army soldiers joined rescue workers in the worst-hit areas. The monsoon season runs from June to September. Government security forces were in control of the eastern Afghan city of Ghazni today, more than a day after Taliban fighters launched a major onslaught on the provincial capital as reinforcements continued a clearance operation targeting the militants. An Interior Ministry spokesman said fresh reinforcements had arrived in the area and were battling Taliban fighters north of Ghazni, and that the insurgents were in no position to take control of the city. A spokesman for US forces in Afghanistan also described the fight for the city as a clearance operation, with sporadic clashes between security forces and insurgents punctuating relative calm. At least 25 security forces had died in the fighting, along with 150 Taliban fighters. At least one media worker from a local broadcaster was also killed. Still to come in our news bulletin. The activities of the Children's Innovation Initiative concludes in the Walaya of Salalah.
عبق فاح بين جنباتها، فنفثت سلاما برائحة لبانها. حلقت عاليا نحو السماء، فنقشت بأبجدياتها تاريخا جميلا، وبكرمها أمست مضربا للأمثال. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2018 من 10 من يوليو إلى 25 من أغسطس.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The works of the second Pharmaceutics Forum started today in the Governorate of Dhofar. The event is being organised by the Directorate General of Health in the Governorate of Dhofar with the participation of a number of experts and specialists in the field of pharmaceutics from various health establishments in the Sultanate and outside the country. The forum aims to highlight the role of pharmacists in the healthcare system and acquaint participants with the latest developments in the field. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Taleb Al Hanai, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Health for Planning. The events of the second traffic exhibition organised by the Directorate General for Traffic at Gardens Mall Commercial Centre concluded in the Walaya of Salalah at the Governorate of Dhofar. The exhibition witnessed the participation of a number of authorities and private sector institutions. The exhibition was accompanied by a number of events and awareness activities which enhanced the values of traffic safety. The activities of the Children's Innovation Initiative in the field of information technology concluded in the Walaya of Salalah. The event was organised by the Information Technology Authority with the participation of 40 children. The programme aimed to transfer acquired knowledge by children to smart IT innovation through training courses and workshops. The innovative works of the participating children were displayed on the concluding day. Supporting bodies and participating children were also honoured. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle. The rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains. Low clouds and fog late at night and early morning are expected over the coast of the Arabian Sea and Sea of Oman. Winds will be southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.45 metres. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. A delegation from the Yemeni Hajj mission heads to Al Medina Al Munawwara to provide services for the Sultanate's pilgrims in Al Medina. The Sultanate ranks 3rd at the Arab level and 38th at international level in the Intellectual Property Rights Index 2018. And the Iranian foreign minister says there are no plans for a meeting with US officials on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York next month. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.